There you can see a close-up of some of the corrosion and water damage to the circuit board and LED. On the other one, I tried to revive it using some CLR and a toothpick to clean up some of that corrosion. It just didn't work. I live in Utah, which is an extremely dry state, and if mine are having water damage, I would be surprised if yours doesn't too. Again, here is the existing circuit board. I've removed the LEDs on top of it, and right next to it is the piece I'm going to fix the Racetrack light with. On the back, it's a clear plastic backing, and I've cut holes into it that will mimic the holes on the existing one. On the front of it, I went to the electronics store and purchased a roll of red LED lights which are on a tape. One thing to note about the LED tape that I bought is the positive and negative, which are indicated there at the end, are actually opposite. So that's one thing for this project you want to notate. I've soldered connections to it. I've covered it with liquid electrical tape, and I've tacked it down with some hot glue gun. So I'm going to power it up here real quick just to show you what it looks like when it works. Okay, looks good. I've created additional ones of pieces like this. Contact me by the details in the video, and you can purchase some of these from me. Real quick, I want to show that I've covered the ends of the electrical wires that I snipped earlier with liquid electrical tape so that they don't get corroded or that they don't short each other out. From this angle, you can see the little post which my mock-up circuit board will need to attach to. I'm going to use a long toothpick and place some super glue over that so that my piece will just fit right over the top of it, and then I'm going to put some super glue over this knob right it's a little difficult to see right there to affix the other side. Okay, I've got everything set in place and it's been glued down. I hit the top of it with a little bit of hot glue gun. That's why it doesn't look too pretty on the top. But what you will see now is after I get this covered up with Gorilla Tape for waterproofing, and we get this wire tapped in, what it'll eventually look like. Just running a quick test here. I've attached these leads to a battery pack, and you'll see that the 3 far LEDs are lit up. The other ones are not lit up because it's not connected to power, but everything looks good so far. Okay, I've got it all waterproofed up. You can see my electrical wire coming out of the side from the Gorilla Tape. At this point, if you're wondering why I just didn't solder the fixed piece that I installed to the 2 white electrical wires from the rest of the circuit board, the reason is because the LEDs that I purchased on the piece of tape are 12 volts, and the rest of the circuit board is running on 6 volts. So because of that, we can't just plug and play. If on your fix you find an LED that is 6 volts, you can just solder it directly. But for my fix, I'm going to run this electrical wire out, and I've identified this plug that plugs in down here. These wires can be spliced into, and you can see that I've already spliced into them for my fix on the other side. But these are 12 volt wires. They're stepped down after they attach to 6 volts for the rest of the LED strip here. But I hope that explains why we don't just solder it to the existing wires we cut earlier. Right there you see my wire from my fix coming up, and I've got it spliced into my positive and negative wires from my fix from the other side. To show you a little bit more clearly, there's a plug that goes into the bottom side right here with a black and a gray and white cable wire that come off of it, and there's also one along the up on the top side, so you could probably use either one. The gray and white are the positive and the black is the negative. So whatever fashion you use to connect into those existing plugs, is the way to go. And we're putting some liquid electrical tape on top of those splices right there, and we'll be getting towards the end of the project. And just to reiterate one final time, the reason I'm doing this external wiring is because the LED strips that I purchased are 12 volts and the rest of the LED racetrack light is 6 volts. So I've had to run extra wire to these plugs here so that I can get it back up to 12 volts. Okay, one of the final steps, going to reinstall the light like reversed of earlier on in the video, and then I'll show you what it looks like after that. Here's my finished project. Both sides have been replaced. Zoom out, show you what it looks like from afar. And that is that.